Hello, beautiful.
Need for Speed Payback is 1 step forwards and 2 steps back for EA's 23-year-old racing series. While Payback does fix a host of the 2015 Need for Speed reboot's missteps, it also brushes away a lot of the stuff developer Ghost Games got right that time.
We'll keep hitting those cops till it chases down the trail.
You see, Need for Speed 2015 brought with it a resurrection of the spirit of 2003 and 2004's successful underground games, and saw the return of meaningful performance and visual customization. Between all the hokey live-action first-person fist-bumping, it also revolved around encounters with real-world automotive icons. That's an idea I still genuinely like. Of course, it was very short, the world was also largely empty, there initially wasn't any drag racing, and you couldn't even pause the game in single-player. It was flawed, no doubt. Payback isn't as pretty for some reason, but it remedies all that latter stuff. There's a much longer experience here. It took around 17 hours to complete the story alone. Plus, the world is filled with extra activities and events, drag racing is included from the get-go, and hey, look, you can pause it! What a novelty! But elsewhere? Well, unfortunately, Payback gambled big and lost.
Houston, we have liftoff!
The new action driving stuff is limited to a few movie-inspired sequences and Payback's new police pursuit system. They may look frantic on the surface, but they aren't really that demanding. Unlike, say, the Stuntman games, Payback doesn't require us to do any of the trickier stuff ourselves. Cutscenes take over all the cool bits. It makes these a fairly superficial experience. The cop chases feel muted too. Escaping is now a totally linear exercise where we have to follow a set path via checkpoints within a time limit instead of improvising and doing something unpredictable to throw them off. Taking down cop cars in these events has a welcome enough Burnout 3 flavour to it, but I don't think it was worth losing proper pursuits for. There aren't any cops around during free roam either, they're only present in story missions or at certain triggers spread around the map that will initiate another linear, timed chase. The rest of Payback is wrapped up in drifting and racing, including street, off-road, and drag. The handling model is accessible, arcade fare, long, lazy drifts are possible with a dab of brake and a boot full of throttle. That said, I've had more than a few events ruined by some overly hostile AI. The respawning is a bit aggressive too.
Liftoff!
I was fine, leave me alone! The events themselves are all tied to defeating themed race crews spread around the map, each of whom introduces themselves like they're the most important people on Earth. Seriously, nobody speaks like this.
I am everyone, I am no one. I am the underground soldier.
Awkward silence. And scene. The story and dialogue here had me wincing.
Let's bring down the house.
Speaking of bad dialogue, Payback features 3 player-controlled characters that fall on a sliding scale from irksome to infuriating.
Always 1 step ahead, buddy.
Especially since they're functionally no different from each other, they're just tied to some of the 5 specific car classes that are different from each other. The segregated car divisions I can handle. The upgrade system, I cannot. I hate it, in fact. 1. Individual visual customization options now need to be unlocked by performing arbitrary tasks out in the world. I get that it's designed to get us interacting with all the new Forza Horizon-inspired jumps and speed traps, etc., but in practice it's like going to get your nose pierced and having the bloke say, "Sure, first I need you to do 20 squat thrusts, knock over that chair, and whistle the Imperial March. Just take my money and put a hole in my face, Pierce Snosman."
Serenity now.
But number 2, and this is the biggie, is that performance customization has been distilled into a collectible card game. Unlike Need for Speed 2015, which allowed us to bolt on specific parts to improve performance, you know, like a normal racing game, Payback's upgrades are controlled by speed cards. Honestly, it'd take me several minutes to explain the nuances and multiple in-game currencies, point systems, and prize boxes involved in the acquisition of speed cards, so you may have to head over to the written review for a detailed explanation. Just know that it's a cold, random system yanked from the shore of the free-to-play mobile swamp that doesn't care what you want or how much time you have, and one that has no real-world analog. Imagine walking into an auto store with your eyes covered, tossing a dart into the air, and walking out with whatever it struck.
This has never been about luck.
Yes! Yes, it literally has been about luck. You have a speed card slot machine! I couldn't ignore this system either because, with the exception of the drift and cop chase events, the AI spanked me whenever I tried to cheap out and enter certain events too far below the suggested car level. Need for Speed Payback is a big, competent and confident arcade racer, but it's really let down by its linear cop chases, its overwrought upgrade system, and its superficial action sequences. It feels fine and it looks flashy, but Payback really went all in on its direct-to-DVD revenge tale, and it was a bust for me. For more racing verdicts, check out our reviews of Gran Turismo Sport and Forza Motorsport 7.
Max